and this is Tech for Seniors. It is May the 18th, and Hewie, can you believe it? It's episode number 8. You know, we've done it 8 weeks now.
How time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, this is my co-host, Hewie. Poplock, wave, give a wave there, Hewie. There you go. And Bob G. Bob's our security guy, keeps everybody on their toes, and he's a tough fella. You'll kick him out if we get any trouble, eh? And he's going to have an update on Avast for us, or an update on security this week, sponsored by Avast, and he'll be doing that shortly. So let me just share my screen, and we will share this. So I want to talk about a couple of things today. First of all, our show today is a busy show. We have a lot of things to do. So we're going to change the format a little bit. Bob's going to talk after I do. No, I think I'm going to do my talk. Huey's going to do yours, and then we'll have Bob, and then I'll go on with my video. I have a 20-minute video I've been working on. It's a project I think everyone will enjoy, and we will try and get everybody out of here in about an hour. This week, I wanted to talk to everybody about a couple of things. One was the tremendously successful APCUG seminar that was done. Bill James did an excellent job. For those of you who didn't see it, it was recorded. Bill did a great talk on Windows 10, and it was a 2-hour presentation. And this would be a great show for you if you had a Windows SIG for your club. It's taped. It's on the. It's on YouTube. This is a monthly. This is a monthly broadcast that they're going to be doing, and the next one will be on June the 10th. It's going to be right here. It'll be June the 10th. And it's going to be on the, I guess it's on settings, Windows settings, next one. And so it should be a really good show. I would encourage you to sign up. It's free with APCUG, and I would encourage you to do that. Just let me get back here. The next one I wanted to talk about was Google Meet. Google Meet is now here. It is from the polling we did today. It shows that about 75% of you heard about Google Meet. About 16% of you used it, and about a quarter of you thought you might use it. On Wednesday, if you went to your Gmail and you were using Gmail, you would have seen something change in your Gmail. And if you looked on the lower left-hand corner in your Gmail, in your inbox, you would have seen a new feature saying this is Google Meet. And you can start a meeting and join a meeting from your Gmail. If you use Google Calendar, and we'll come down, and this is Google Calendar, you will have also noticed that they added a section there in Google Calendar on Google Meet as well, because you can now join either from Gmail or you can join through the calendar. Now, as you come down, you can go to www.meet.google.com. Now, the thing that you need to understand about Google Meet is that it's been around for a long time. In fact, you may have heard of G Suite. Most of us use free version of Gmail or Google Drive. However, there's the paid version, which is G Suite. And G Suite has, of course, Gmail and Google Drive, and it's the paid commercial version. And within that version of G Suite, they have Google Meet. And this is an enterprise version. It's a tiered paid version, so it's another level of money that you have to pay to use it. What Google did is they released a free version now for the general public to use. And this is nothing like the business or commercial version that G Suite has. Now, if you look and if you look at so you can use it, and I'm going to just briefly outline the differences. The thing that you have to understand is that the commercial version of Google Meet is not the same as the free version. It's wildly different. Whereas if you use Zoom, the version of Zoom that you will use, whether you pay for it or not, is by and large the same. So that is certainly something that you need to be aware of. Now, if we look at the pros for Google Meet, if we look here, you'll see that first of all, Google Meet is free. The second thing is you can have up to 100 people in meeting. So that's pretty cool. And at present, there is no time limit for the free version. They say that by the end of the summer, they will probably put about a 60-minute time limit on it. But right now, there is no time limit. The other thing about Google Meet is that it's only browser-based and there's no software to use. Now the cons. The cons are, first of all, you must have a Google account to use Google Meet. You have to sign into your Google account and you have to go in through that route. So if you don't have a Google account or you're dealing with people and you want to join up and don't have a Google account, it won't work. The meeting cannot be recorded. There's no recording feature in Google in the meeting. There are no virtual backgrounds allowed. The other big one that might occur, certainly if Dewey and I talked about this, is you cannot stream to YouTube or Facebook. The one big advantage in Zoom that you have is that it is very easy to stream directly to to YouTube Live or to Facebook. But you can't do that even in the enterprise version of Google Meet. It won't stream. And there are very few functionality features of Google Meet. It's a very, very stripped down basic version that I don't think you're really going to find it that appealing once you've used Zoom, and about 80% of you have used Zoom. So I wanted just to give you an update on that because there's a lot of talk. There's over 50 million people in the last 3 days that have downloaded the app on their phones. So there are a lot of people wanting to use that. Now, what Steve Dotto did an excellent, and I posted this this week, an excellent video on comparing the two, and he came up with sort of the same conclusion I did. There's a lot of people that just don't want to use Zoom. They've heard bad things about it. But by and large, Zoom has really updated itself and addressed all the security concerns. But there will still be people who don't want to use Zoom. So fine, they can use Keep. But there will also be people who say, gee, Google snoops on me all the time. And I don't really want Google to be recording all my conversations, so I'll use Zoom. And so there'll be two camps. There'll be the Zoom camp and there will be the Google camp. So who knows how that's all going to resolve. I do think that probably Google will be improving on the product over the next year or two. But right now, Zoom has a lot more functionality. So anyway, that's where we are. I'm going to...
And hopefully I won't lose it. I want to share the sound so you can hear it. And we'll minimize this. Come on. It's coming. There we go. Hi, this is Hewie Poplock, and I'm going to report today on some news from this past week. And to kind of lead up to that, what I would like to do is give you a few definitions, some information of what we're talking about. And I have to get back to the right slide here. Today I'm going to talk about GIFs, sometimes known as GIFs, but a GIF is short for Graphics Interchange Format. It's a format that's 33 years old. It was started by Unisys for CompuServe. And back in those days, in order to have any kind of graphics on the computer, you had through the internet, well, not through the internet, but through from online, you were using a 300 baud modem or maybe a 1200 baud modem if you were lucky. And what needed to be done in order to show pictures, you had to get that information to load very quickly. And so the GIF format was invented to do just that. It's not suited for photographs, but it was good for logos and quick graphics of any kind. A couple of years later, JPEGs came around, and they are now the largest format of graphics. And JPEG stands for Joint Photographic Experts Group. The difference is the GIF is 8 bits per pixel and 256 color maximum, where a JPEG is a 24 bits per pixel and can have up to 16 million colors. And I spelled million wrong. Let's go to the next slide. So this week, Facebook is going to acquire a website called Giphy. Giphy meme sharing site for $400 million. Now, why are they doing this? Well, as of the end of 2019, Giphy claimed its visual expression and creation service reached around 700 million people a day, and that users sent home 10 billion pieces of content each day, not home, but used and sent out 10 billion pieces of content per day. And according to Facebook, 50% of Giphy's traffic comes from the Facebook family of apps, and that half of it is from the Instagram alone. So what is Giphy? Why are they spending $400 million to purchase Giphy? Well, let's take a look at Giphy. Here is the Giphy website. It's giphy.com, Giphy.com, and it's made up of these little animated GIFs. Now, GIFs were not animated in the beginning. They were just single pictures, and then someone learned how to put multiple little GIFs together and make what appeared to be a video, kind of like the old flip cards where you flip a bunch of cards one after the other and you would see some motion. And that's how the GIFs were started. Now, I can remember working with the early Photoshop and Photoshop from the Photoshop and the Paint, Photo Paint from Corel, which is now Corel, or Paint Shop Pro it was called. And you could put together an animated GIF, but it was quite a process. Well, then Giphy.com was started, and you could download a whole bunch of GIFs, but you can also create your own, post them there, and other people can download them. So what does Giphy do? What does the website do? Well, first you can search on any topic. So let's look for something like technology, for instance, and see what they have for some animated GIFs. We don't know what's going to come up, but it goes out and it searches anything in technology, and these are going to be some animated GIFs that people have put together and have posted on Giphy. And you can see several of them here. You might recognize some of these from either Facebook or Instagram or someone's website where they've put these up for them. So let's look for one more called Technology Fails and see what we find there. And you'll see that there are a lot of these, and you can scroll down and keep scrolling. At the end, it'll say more, and you can even find some more. But let's look at what some of the technology fails are. Not all of these are technology, but some of them are. I love this one. Let's take a look at this one. Now I can click on it. And I clicked one too many times here. So let's go back. There it is. Yeah, we've all seen somebody do that. They snap a picture, and that's how I think selfies got started. But if you want, you can go and copy the link, pick up the link here, and then you can, once you do that, you can copy that and then paste it on your website. You can upload it to Facebook, but it's built in right here that you can send it right away from here to Facebook, to Twitter, and to other, to Tumblr, to Pinterest, and to Reddit, and of course to Instagram. Now let's take a look at one other, and let's try that. Let's look for something like a happy birthday and see what we find. And we'll see what we come up with there. As some GIFs, animated GIFs, and let's find one that we like. I like this one, so I'm going to click on it. And now one of my Facebook friends is having a birthday today, so let's go ahead, share to Facebook. You'll see up here, I'll make this a little bit bigger. Takes a little while to get there, and what I want to do is I am going to let it finish coming up. And I want to, come on. I want to say something about this, but I want to share it to a friend's timeline. And then it's going to ask me the friend's name, and I'm going to say Norm. And there is his name. And I'm going to say, oh, I'll say happy birthday, just so there's something there. The picture is there, and then all I have to do is say post to Facebook. And that's how easy it is to post right from Giphy. And it should be there. Let's see if it's going to show it to us. Now it closes that window out, and it's now posted on his timeline, this animated GIF, and shows him how interested I am to wish him a happy birthday. Now, what else can you do with Giphy? You can actually create your own GIF. So let's go ahead and create a couple very quickly. There's a couple of ways you can do it. One, you can take a whole group of pictures, and let's choose some photos that I have out there. And I have them pre-staged. So I got it. It's still working. And I want to go to test 1 for this one. And I have 4 pictures, each one with a little bit of different verbiage. I'm going to click the first one, hold the shift key down, click the last one, and it picks all of them up, and I'm going to say open. It will open all 4 of them in Giphy. It's saying, to begin with, there are 4 of these, and each one has a little different heading down here at the bottom. You'll see what it's doing. Now, it's set for each one to be 3 seconds. I think that's too much. I want it to be about 1 second each. And so I am going to say continue to decorate. And I'm going to say renew your dues. And now you can see here, it's saying renew your dues. I'm going to move that down to here, but I can have it default. I can have it pixel. I can have it as a subtitle, a meme, fancy, and what they call a GIF-a-bet with different colors and characters and so on. I'm going to use the default, but down here I can do some animations for it. I've got none. I can make it sparkle. I can make it wavy. I can make it a rainbow. I can make it climatic. So it just changes every once in a while. I can make it the switcheroo, so different ones it shows up. I can make it look like it's typing, and I can make it look like there's a glitch in it. I'm going to choose wavy. That's what it's going to look like, and I'm going to say continue to upload. Now, the next thing it wants is the source. So if you want this to be linked to something, you can actually put the source, in other words, put the link in, the source URL, and any tags you want. I'm not going to do that. I just want to have it as an animated GIF. I don't want it to be clickable to something else. And I'm going to say upload it to Giphy. It's uploading it. It's creating the GIF. Now, one would think it would show up here, but for some reason, it doesn't seem to do that. And maybe it's because I'm impatient. I am not sure. I'll wait a couple of seconds. And then what I'm going to do, if you go to media, what's going to happen is the source files with no edits. So if you do that, what you're going to end up with is just some source files, and it's not going to be able. You're not going to be able to do anything with it. You really need to go to copy link. And there's a short link and so on. So I'm going to go to the short link. I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to do a Control-C. Then I'm actually going to go to a new tab and put that link in there. I'm going to Control-V. In other words, they don't make it too easy to download one that you create. When I go to that one, it actually gives me a different kind of an address, but you'll see it's now going to be there. And there is our animated GIF. I just move my mouse over it. I right mouse click and I save the image as. It should come up and give me the, come on, try that again. There it is. And let's see, we're in the wrong place. So I'll go here, and this is test 1, and we'll just call it dues. And it'll automatically put the GIF on the end, and I'll save it. And if we go to test 1, it's refreshing. Those are the files that are in test 1. Let me go up 1 and come back down. And it should be there. And there it is. And if we play it, and there it is. That's how easy it is to make an animated GIF. One more thing that you can do with an animated GIF And let's minimize this, and let's go back to Giphy. We'll do one more quickly. You can also take an MP4, in other words, a video that's a large file, and say, okay, I'm going to take that large file and make an animated GIF out of it. So I can choose a video. I've already done this, so there's already one up there, but let's go ahead and I'll show you the process. I'm going to go ahead and stop it here. Actually, this is the wrong recording. I had cut a lot of this out. And what I would like to do, Ron, is I am going to close this, I think. Hit escape. I hope I don't get me out of the whole thing here. And I'm going to show you the GIFs themselves. This is the happy birthday one. Zoom just didn't handle it on the recording end. Hopefully you can see it there. And let me try this one. Saying my internet's unstable, so you may be seeing some choppy. This is making a video, taking an MP4 and turning it into a GIF can be done. And that's what I did here. It was an MP4. I just added the cfcs.org line to it, and it saved it out as a GIF. So it went from about 26 megabytes to about 5 megabytes. And so that's that one. And the original dues look like this. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share. And it doesn't look like I put you to sleep, so that's good.
All right. Bob, you're up.
Oh, we're back.
Okay, time for me to share my screen.
Thanks to Avast Software, here's the Security News Roundup for the week ending May 15th, 2020. It appears that Lady Gaga, Drake, Madonna, and many others have a new fan. The fan, a hacker, has recently hacked a law firm that represents all of these stars. There is no immunity to getting hacked. It happens to many, even those not so famous. Avast Hack Check can help. Check if your password has been leaked and get a report to your email. Receive 24-hour automatic email alerts anytime your password is leaked. A Thunderbolt flaw leads to Thunder Spy exploit. A Dutch security researcher revealed details this week of a new attack he discovered that exploits a vulnerability in the common Intel Thunderbolt port found in millions of PCs around the world. The hacker needs physical access to the laptop to carry out the attack. Currently, the only protection is to turn off the port via the BIOS. The FBI is warning us of Chinese hackers attempting to steal COVID-19 research. The FBI issued a public service announcement this week to warn U.S. research facilities that hacking groups affiliated with the People's Republic of China have been observed trying to illicitly obtain unpublicized information related to COVID-19 vaccines, treatments, and testing. The research facilities were advised to patch all systems for critical vulnerabilities. The U.S. government also urges all Americans to update and patch. Cybercriminals tend to exploit publicly known and often dated software vulnerabilities. Several U.S. government agencies released an alert this week listing the most common software flaws that are routinely exploited. These products include, but are not limited to, Microsoft, Adobe, Drupal, Apache, and many others. Magellan Health, a Fortune 500 company, was hit with ransomware. Magellan Health sent a notification that affected individuals this week about a ransomware attack to the company's servers that occurred on April 11th. A subset of data was stolen from a Magellan corporate server containing Magellan employees' data, which included names, addresses, tax details, social security numbers, and in some cases, usernames and passwords. Magellan Health informed victims that it's continuing to work with the FBI to investigate the attack, and that it has since bolstered its security protocols. If you're not using an antivirus program like Avast, the next time your computer is infected, try this. Maybe this will help. That's it for this week. Stay safe, stay healthy. See you next week.
Well, thanks, Bob. That's great. Thanks so much. All right, now we'll move on, and I'm going to share my screen. And we'll share our computer sound. So I'm going to play, I'll see everyone in a few minutes after the video, but I'm going to play a video that we recorded for this, and then I'll see everybody afterwards.
Good afternoon. It's Ron Brown with Silvercom Computer and Technology Club. What is the best way to store your receipts? With your smartphone, it is so simple. Let me show you how to do this. Now, full disclosure, there are two types of people in the world: those who use an accounting software called Quicken and those who don't. Gail and I used Quicken for over 30 years to manage our finances. It is a ritual in our house, like brushing our teeth. The transactions are entered, the receipts electronically filed, and I reconciled all the accounts at the end of the month. Most people don't do this, so my goal today is to show you how to use your smartphone to store your receipts. If you are a Quicken user, watch to the end. Now, why should seniors want to save their receipts? Well, probably three reasons. One, probably filing taxes. Oftentimes you will want to keep your medical receipts in case you get audited. Also, for large purchases, such as a refrigerator, you may want to keep that for warranty purposes. Also, costly modifications to your homes. So there are some times when you will want to keep your receipts. Now, what to do with your receipts? Well, I gave a class this last year, which was well attended, and I asked everybody, what do you do with your receipts? Very interesting question, and most people all answered the same way. They give them to their spouse. Well, what does the spouse do with them? Spouses weren't at the course, but I gather what spouses would probably do with their receipts is you may put them in a box. You may put them into a filing cabinet, or you might have an accordion sort of storage area that has some identifiers on it, or you're just overwhelmed and they're all over your desk. Historically, people who are very obsessive would often scan their receipts with a scanner that traditionally has been in printers. And this is a common way of getting a receipt into an electronic version. This is really, in the current technology we have, not the best way to do it. It's very slow, tedious, and there are much better ways. I doubt that we'll be seeing in the future scanners on printers for much longer. Well, let's see what we can do. And probably the easiest thing to do with a receipt is to simply take a picture of it. take your smartphone and take a picture of your receipt. On the right side, you'll see a receipt from Coastal Eye Care. This was taken with my Pixel 3 camera, and you'll see the picture of the receipt is very clear. And this was taken in a dark room and just no specific preparation for it. And I just took a picture of that receipt. So taking a picture is a very simple thing to do for your receipts. The other thing you could do, most of you now use Google Photos. So why not just scan your receipt with Google Photos using the Photo Scan app? So this is an example of using the Photo Scan app with the anti-glare feature on. We'll show you how this works here. So if you watch the video, you'll see we're bringing up Google Photos, and you'll see at the bottom here is the Photo Scan software. We're now doing a photo scan with the anti-glare feature on. And this brings up the 4 little dots. And as you've done before, I'm sure using this software, it will scan the picture in for you and save it into Google Photos. And there we have it done. And this is with the anti-glare feature on. And this is what the picture would look like. So let's do another one. So now we're going to see, this is using the same photo scan software with the anti-glare feature off. Let's see how this works. It's much faster, but will we get the same results? Here's our Google Photo. Again, we'll bring the photo scan software up, which you'll see at the bottom here, and you will see that we are turning the anti-glare feature off. And let's do a picture. So now we have 3 pictures of the receipt. The center one was the one we took with a plain photograph, which was extremely quick. We have a picture on the left. The blacks are a little bit darker because the anti-glare feature was on. But again, I think the quality of the receipt's about the same. And over on the right, you see we have the one with the anti-glare feature off. The purpose of this, showing you this, was to show that probably just taking a plain old photograph is the best thing to do. It's fastest and easiest, so we really don't need to use the photo scan software. Now, if you take pictures and you have Google Photos on your smartphone, you know that the pictures will go up into your photo library. So once they're all up into your photo library, you're probably going to want to make an album. Now, we call them albums in Google Photos, and there are no subfolders. You can't put a folder in Google Photos. So you're going to have to be sort of creative on your naming. And there are some different thoughts on this. I've given some examples here. You could, for example, make a folder up, an album up, and call it Receipts-House, and then you could make another album up and call it Receipts-Medical. So you'd have two albums there. The advantage of keeping the first name the same is that searching would bring up all your albums. As you get lots of these, you maybe in Google Photos have maybe several hundred albums, and you'll want to search them and quickly bring up the receipt folders, and that's a way of doing it. I also thought you could do you could do docs.receipt, and all your files, your document files could be from, you could call it docs.receipts, docs.medical, an example of that. You could certainly do it that way. Or you could simply just put a R for a receipt and called R-house and R-medical, and that would bring up all your albums. So you have to give a bit of thought about that, because you can't put subfolders folders within the albums. So think a bit about that before you start making your albums to store your receipts in. Now, the next way that you can do this is by using the Google Drive. And I would encourage you, this is a much better way of doing it, and I would encourage you to get the Google Drive app on your smartphone. Now, when you go to Google Drive, you go to the Play Store, you'll be able to find Google Drive. It is an app, and you can download this and install it on your smartphone. It's available in Android and iOS. So this is how you would do that. Now, on my Google Drive, I've set up a folder called Receipts. So on my Google Drive, I have a folder called Receipts, and then within the Receipts folder, I have a subfolder called Medical. So we'll store our medical receipts in the folder, which will be in the folder called Receipts. And here it is on my Google Drive. You'll see at the top, it says, you'll see this is my Google Drive, and then you'll see my folder called Receipts. And then this is the subfolder within Receipts where we're going to put the $221 receipt. So this is the Google Drive app scanning the picture, the receipt into the medical folder. Let's see how you do that. So this is bringing up the Google Drive app. We come down and we're going to scan a new picture or receipt. And so here we are clicking the button. It's scanned it. And that is what it looks like after it was the picture was taken. And it's now going to give us an option to name it. And also we get to choose what folder we want to put it in. But of course, we're going to choose the medical folder. So now we're going to select the medical folder that you can see that is here, and we'll be selecting that. And it's going to save this now. It is even a faster way is to use a Google Drive widget. Does everyone know what a widget is? A widget is like a macro for your apps. And let me explain how this works. Here's what I found. So this is making a widget to scan directly into the Google Drive medical folder. Let's see how you would do that. So we're going to take in any area on your phone, and we're going to long press it, and you'll come up with making a widget app. You'll then come down to Google Drive. You'll see the Google Drive there. We'll click on that, and it's going to make a little icon here. Well, it's going to first ask to select the folder that we want, and we're going to select the medical folder in Receipts. And then the widget is made for us. And now you'll see that we have a widget that we're going to put into our little folder called Google Drive. So we have our Google Drive app here, but we have the widget. Now, when I take a picture of the receipt with this widget, it is going to go directly into the medical folder. It's not going to be, it's not going to ask you any questions about where to put it. So this makes it much, much quicker. So let's see how that would go. So let's see how this will go, and we are going to scan something with the widget right into the folder. This is bringing the widget up. We simply take a picture of the receipt and save it. And now it is being uploaded directly to the medical folder in our Google Drive. So it's just a faster way of getting your getting the receipt into the medical folder. And again, this is this is my drive, this is receipts, and this is where we're putting it into the medical folder. All right, so you may use Microsoft products, so you might want to store your receipts in OneDrive. Well, OneDrive has an app for your phone as well. You'll go to the Play Store or the iOS, and again, you will see the Microsoft app, which is available for your smartphone. You download it, install it. Again, I've set up in my file directory in OneDrive, I've set up OneDrive. I've made a folder called Receipts, and I've put a subfolder called Medical. Now, let's use the OneDrive app to record and save. So you'll see here in my folder, I have the OneDrive app. We'll start the display now, and this is going to bring it up the app, and we're going to choose the folder called Medical. And then we're going to click on the little icon, the camera there, and it's going to take a picture of our receipt, the $221, and it's going to place it into the medical folder. Now let's use the OneDrive widget. Again, you can make a widget for OneDrive. Let's see how that would work. Again, we're going to long press in the blank area on your phone, and you'll see the widget menu come up. You're going to come down to OneDrive, and we're going to choose the widget icon. And now we're going to come up, and it's going to ask us to pin a file to the widget, and we're going to choose the medical directory as well. And so now we have a widget it's going to scan directly into the medical folder, into our folder called Medical. So on my phone now, I have two widgets, one for general receipts and one for medical receipts. And when I use these two widgets, they scan it directly into those folders. If I use the OneDrive app, then it would I'd have to choose the folder that I wanted it to go into. So let's see what happens when we use the OneDrive widget. It works about the same as the Google widget. We'll bring this up. We'll choose the medical widget. You'll see the folder is empty. And now you'll see us scanning this receipt. It says it's done. And it will upload it into the medical file, medical folder, so you don't have to choose. Lastly, I wanted to just give you a couple of tips for Quicken users. I've used Quicken for about 30 years, and traditionally, I used to scan my receipts into the Quicken transactions. About 4 or 5 years ago, Quicken developed an app that you can use on your smartphone. This is not the full version of Quicken and has some unique purposes. It links back into the Quicken software, which runs on your Windows PC. This is called Sync to Mobile, and it is the Quicken app that you can download and install on your smartphone. It works very well, and what happens is when you're in a restaurant, or whether you're in a location where you want to save a receipt, you simply bring up the mobile app on your phone. It actually knows where you are by geolocating and puts the restaurant actually in the payee section. You just fill in the amount, and then you can add a receipt by clicking to take the picture of the receipt. It then uploads the file into the Quicken cloud. When you're now on your Windows 10 PC, you can click Sync to Mobile, and the sync to mobile will download the transaction and the attached image and put it right into your Quicken accounting software. This works very well and is a cool feature that unfortunately I just discovered this last year. So I wanted to give everybody that tip. So in summary, what's the one thing you need to do with receipts? That's store them electronically. It's so easy to do now rather than keeping them as paper files. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's Ron Brown with Silvercon Computer and Technology Club. Enjoy your day.
There we go.
Hey, good job, Ron.
Thank you. There's a lot of hours in that. That was a big project and a lot of hours. All those little videos all had to be inserted. So the one thing I know everyone's going to ask me is, before you all put up your hand, is that both the Google Drive app and the OneDrive app, if you're not connected to the internet, in other words, you don't have a data plan and you take a picture of it, it will store it on your phone. And when you get home and you connect to your Wi-Fi, then it will upload into the appropriate drives. So you don't actually have to have a data plan. It will just store it on your phone. So both of those apps work the same way. You know something? We got 4 minutes left. Does anyone have any questions? Just
I do.
Sure, go ahead, answer.
If you have multiple pages, like a doctor's receipt is usually a couple of pages.
Yes, so that's a very good point. So if you had now, in the just announced this morning, which is interesting, just announced this morning on the OneDrive app on your phone, not the Google Drive, but the OneDrive app, you can scan up to 10 pages and it will put it in a single PDF. Now, this feature was only available on if you had Office 365 or Microsoft 365. But this morning, Microsoft just announced it's for everybody. So they've changed the OneDrive app on your phone, and you now can scan, everybody, doesn't matter who you are, can scan up to 10 pages. It will upload it and put it in as a single PDF file.
Great, thanks.
Okay. But that's not Google Drive. That's just, but that's the OneDrive, the OneDrive app.
Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
I have a couple of comments.
Sure.
As far as receipts and storing them, I have discovered that a lot of retailers now are emailing receipts if you ask them to, or on some of their selections when you pay by credit card, you can also ask to have an email sent to you.
Right.
And it makes it a very fast way to categorize and store those from all over, regardless of what type of retail merchant or medical they may be. You don't have to go through the process that you just did, Ron, but that of course is not available for every retailer or the ones that don't send out email receipts.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to a hotel and you're checking out, you know how they always say, look, do you want to check your receipt? And they say, and then they say to you, do you want a copy? And I say, no, I just take a picture of it, right? And boom, you've got it. And the thing about taking a picture with your camera, the cameras all now, it doesn't matter what type of smartphone you have, all the cameras are very good. The cameras actually take better and more accurate pictures than a scanner. Scanners are gone. Nobody's going to use a photo scanner anymore. Take a picture. It's a picture with your phone is the simplest and fastest way that you can do it. Well, listen, it's 1 minute
David has a question. David has a question.
Sure.
Okay.
One more question?
Yeah, I was just going to ask. If you're using the OneDrive or the Google Drive, you can just scan it and then pick where you want to put it. Each time you don't have to set up the medical or the receipt or whatever where you were doing. Is that correct?
Right, the widget, that's the advantage of the widgets, making the widgets for each file is that it scans it right into the folder. So you don't have to think about it.
Yeah, I know, but if you want to think about it,
then it'll give you the option each time. Then you just choose the folder you want.
Yeah, because I don't have that many medical receipts I need to worry about is some of the other receipts.
Right.
That I want.
The way I would envision it is if you had your directory structure and maybe you had 6 or 7 different files that you wanted to file things in, I would have 6 or 7 widgets on my phone and just, hit the widget for the one that I wanted for the receipt. Then I don't have to make those decisions.
Yeah.
But it's your choice. It's your choice.
When I set up mine for Jethro's, I'll get a hold of you.
Yeah. Okay. Hewie.
Yes.
Are you going to be here next week?
I'm planning on it. I hope everybody else is too.
Bob, are you here next week? Great. Listen, I got to go bake some bread, you guys. So I'm going to see how the bread turns out. I'll let you know. It's been a blast. These meetings go by so fast. I'm so excited. I'm pumped, and I want to see everybody here next week. The video I showed you and the video Hugh showed you, we'll put them on the links to the website. And of course, we've taped this show, and again, it'll be available for you to view. I'll have it out this afternoon. Thanks everyone for coming. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Hewie, and we will see you next week, same time, same place.
Good.